Hey, it's Frank from 40 Honeybee, and I'm here to do an inspection, the first inspection actually, on my #1 hive. That's the hive on the left there. A couple things I want to watch for, and a couple things I want to look for. It's only been about a week since that hive's been in, so join me and we'll see what it's looking like on 40 Honeybee. So this hive has been in for a little over a week, and I don't have any concerns. Right off the bat here, though, you look at this entrance and you see a ton of ants. You see them going in? That has them going into the feeder area, which is separate from the hive. Coming out with chunks of stuff. I wonder what that is. Anyway, I'll have a look at that. I'm not concerned about that because that is technically not inside the hive. If it were inside the hive, the bees would have something to say about that. So anyway, a couple things that I'm looking for are, first of all, feed. Are they taking the sugar water that I gave them? And then we're going to look into the hive frame by frame to make sure that the queen is in there and healthy and laying eggs. One other little area of concern that I could have with this, and you see that's where the ants are, and they're taking that sugar water, that's dried up sugar there, because I spilled that. So again, this is inside the hive, so I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, back to the main points. Yes, want to see them taking sugar water, check the quantity of sugar water that they have, and also check on a queen cup that they were making. They're making a queen cup, so I want to see what's going on there, see if there's anything to be concerned about there. And then lastly, for this hive, I think just check and see that the queen is laying eggs. She should be laying. So right here, you want to see if they're feeding. And yes, they are. Look at that. That's good. So they're all up there and eating away, which is good. And quantity, oh yeah, we still got tons of sugar water for them, so not a concern. I will look in there also and see if I see the queen in there. Really shouldn't see her in there, but you never know. And there's no mortality in this feeder. No dead bees, which is amazing. So that's really what we're looking for. First part checks out good. Okay, so I decided to light my smoker just in case. That just took an extra minute or so. But the other thing I wanted to check on this hive is that it had one frame of comb that they were building out kind of wonky. They were building it out in a funny way. So I may have to remove that frame and give them a replacement. So let's keep an eye out for that too, shall we? And just want to be careful when you remove this feeder, because there's a bunch of bees underneath in the middle of it here, right? So we don't want to squish those bees. And you know, never know, the queen bee could be there. Okay, so just have a look on the inner lid here, make sure the queen's not there either. So you can see lots of ants on here. Oh yeah, look at that. There's some sugar water. That's part of what's causing the ant issue. But again, they're not actually getting in the hive. If the ants were in there, I'd be much more concerned. Okay, here's the pollen patty. Last time I checked the pollen patty, they basically hadn't touched it. Now they're taking a bit of it. Yeah, they're taking it, so we'll leave it there. One YouTuber suggested putting the pollen patty right on top of the bulk of the bees there, but not sure I want to do that. They don't have to go far to get it, and if you do put it on top and it kind of melts and gets all over the place, it can be a little tricky. So this is the frame that we want to watch for wonky comb. So I'll just take a couple of these outliers out, give us some room to work with here. Don't expect to be any bees there. Now this, I think, was the problem frame, so let's have a look at it. Okay, so yeah, you see what I mean? Out there, it's all right. I'm not going to do anything with this. They're building it out. That's not how they typically build out a frame. So typically they'll build out a frame in a very uniform level way all the way across. They'll start sort of in the middle and build it out. Now this is kind of strange looking, but as long as I think I keep the next frame right up against it, they've reached the limit of where they're going to build this thing. Well, you know what? This isn't that great because you see this is very shallow. You see these are very shallow here, not going all the way back. This one is okay. This one is a mess. They're already starting to put in nectar in here, so I think I will replace this frame because they're just not building it out properly. So let's have a look here and make sure the queen is not on this frame. You see the bee here with nice pollen on her inner sacs there. Okay, so I'm going to shake these bees off and swap out this troublesome frame. I've got another frame that's plastic and lined with wax. Don't know why they're building this out the way they are, but we'll see. Okay. We'll get this frame off to the side here, and we'll bring in the replacements. So now we're just looking to see what the bees are doing on these next few frames. This is where the queen was last time, but I didn't see her. Sharp-eyed fans did see her. Okay, so we got larvae here, and we've got eggs. Larvae right out to the outside frame. That's great. And they're just starting to cap it, it looks like. Nice looking frame. Got some drones, which is good, and they're filling the top with nectar as well. There's the queen cup, you see? See that queen cup there? I'm gonna have a look in it. Try to see if there's an egg in it. No, there's no egg in it. There's no royal jelly in it. So I'm just going to let them have their practice fun. Okay, outside of this frame, beautiful larva. And eggs. Nice frame. Could be a frame that the queen is on, so we'll just take a second to have a look for her. Don't see the queen on here. Very heavy frame coming up. Oh yeah, this is what we want to see. Just wall to wall brood. Beautiful. Oh, there's a bee that's stung something. See how it's trailing its ends there? Its stinger is out. Dead bee walking. Didn't sting me, at least not that I know of yet. So it's unfortunate for that bee. Okay, now we look at this side. Lots of pollen, or sorry, lots of brood. And yeah, still capping this side. So this side should be capped by today, tomorrow. Let's have a look here. So this side is doing really well. So we'll have a look for the queen. Nice big drones. And people ask why it's important to have drones in a hive, because they essentially do very little. They don't actually do anything in or for the hive itself, but they are there for mating queens, right? So if this hive goes queenless for whatever reason, they make a new queen. The drones are there to be able to mate it. So, and drones take up resources. So they say that if hives are doing poorly, they don't make or don't maintain drones because they're just a straight drain on resources. So that's why drones should be a sign of a healthy hive. Wow, another nice brood frame here. Look at that. Just wall to wall with brood. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This side, just capping the brood here. See? Again, seeing some larvae. Seeing some pollen, nectar, and they've already closed up some honey on the outside and on the top here. You see that? Another really nice frame. Very young fuzzy bees, so they have been hatching out, which is good. Okay, let's get this back in. Now the next frame should be an interesting one because that was a drawn out frame that I'm hoping the queen is laying on. So I'm gonna move this smoker to the other side here so that they don't get as much smoke. Now, so this could be a frame where we see the queen, but really what we want to see is signs of the queen laying. And oh, it's a heavy one, I'll tell you that right off the bat. It's heavy, which is good. Let's see some eggs here. Well, I don't see any eggs on this frame. How about this side? Oh yeah. What do we got here? So here, okay, so here we do have some eggs and larvae and plenty of nectar coming in too. And looks like they're just starting to draw out the next frame, so I'm not going to mess with that one. Let's get this back in. So you see a river of ants moving through, but again, while the ants are on the outside looking in, I don't care. It's when they come in to the hive that you've got issues to deal with. All right, so we'll close this guy up and we'll just keep an eye on this frame for wonky comb next time. But overall, it's a successful inspection. They're making bees, and that's the most important thing at this stage. You can see they are starting to take away this this pollen patty, eh? You can see they're eating it from this side, which is just what you want. So we'll just bring it a little closer. I'm gonna leave the paper on so it doesn't bother them. Let's put it all back together now. So this hive is doing what we want this hive to do, which is making bees and taking in resources. So that's all we ask for at the 1 week mark. We want to see that the queen is laying, and she is. We want to see that they're expanding, and they are. One other quick thing I'm going to take a look at here is the bottom board. I haven't looked at it yet, and yeah, see, this bottom board tells a story too, you see? And this probably should be the first thing I look at, but I've been kind of lazy with the bottom board inspections. So this bottom board shows you that they've hatched out brood, because this is wax from hatched out brood. And again, no concern about the ants here, because they're going to be drops of honey and stuff like that here that they're going to eat. but we don't care about that. This is not in the hive. This is outside the hive. But you can see they've hatched out brood here, and hatched out a lot of brood here, right? Because these were cappings from that. So I'm just going to quickly give this a wipe down so that when we come back next time, we can see if they have hatched out any new brood. And this is how I wipe it down. And it does a pretty decent job. If you really want to as well, you can get at it with the hive tool, just gently, so you don't want to, yeah, that stuff was stuck on pretty good. So just enough that you know that if you come next week to do your inspection, when you look at it, if you see any new brood cappings, they've hatched out new brood. So again, just another way to tell you how your hive is doing. All right, so let's get this back in now. And that's it. So as the weather gets a little warmer, I will remove that bottom board, just so that they get more cool air and more air circulating through the hive. Probably another couple of weeks before that happens. It's late May, and today is 23 degrees Celsius, which is about 73 Fahrenheit. Nice day, although yesterday was rainy. It's been a couple of rainy days here, so they haven't had a great week for their first week, but they're alive, they're healthy, they're multiplying, they're doing everything they're supposed to do. So I'm happy. So thanks for joining me at 40 Honeybee.